How is it going, guys? We're back with another reaction video. This time I'm going to be reacting to a video called 10 Things You Didn't Know About Belgium from the channel Top Lists. As always, the video link to the original video will be in the description section down below. So definitely go check that channel out. And we're going to find out 10 things you didn't know about Belgium. Maybe we did know. I know top half, I believe, north half speaks Dutch, southern half speaks French, possibly Dutch and French, maybe two main national languages, I'm not sure. And then obviously Belgian waffles. I don't know for sure a whole lot about Belgium. I know the area that speaks Dutch that recognizes themselves and resonates with the Netherlands people. They used to be part of the Netherlands, I believe. There's an area they call themselves Flemish. So they're kind of like Dutch at heart, but they live in Belgium kind of thing. Other than that, I don't know. So we're going to find out on the coolest channel on YouTube right here. So
most people outside of Europe don't really know much about Belgium, and even other Europeans tend not to know too much about it. From being the seat of the EU to
those waffles though, man, those are good.
Waffles to its many political divisions, Belgium is a small land with an abundance of history, which is why it is now time to give you the 10 things you didn't know about Belgium. In 1912, the Walloon politician Jules d'Estrées wrote in a letter to the king, "Il n'y a pas de Belges," or "there are no Belgians," and his statement was as true then as it is now. The Belgian state was officially created in 1831 by the powers that were at the time, despite great differences in the populations, most of which followed along linguistic lines. Most Belgians are Flemish speakers, followed by Walloons, and finally a small German-speaking minority in the east of the country. And as can be expected for a country with multiple languages, there are sometimes problems that go beyond mere communication.
So is Flemish an actual language, I guess, is what it sounds like.
The Flemish generally do not get along with the Walloons who speak French, and vice versa, and there is little reason for...
Oh, okay, so no, it's just a group of people. So the Walloons speak French. Okay, Flemish speaks, I'm assuming, Dutch, from what I hear, and then, yeah.
Common cause. Add to the fact that Brussels is the seat of the EU, and it becomes clear that no such thing as a distinct Belgian identity exists. This will likely remain so for many years to come, and thus Belgium shall also remain a divided country. While Italy is most renowned for its historical place in the development that would later be called the Renaissance, there was a later, but just as vibrant Northern Renaissance that also produced great art. During the 15th and 16th century, there was no clear distinction between the Netherlands and Belgium, and two painters born at this time.
I thought it was part of, let me see. I could have swore that Belgium was part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands at one point in time. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know a lot, obviously. So let's find out what they're saying here, because I missed something, I think.
Vibrant Northern Renaissance that also produced great art. During the 15th and 16th century, there was no clear distinction between the Netherlands and Belgium, and two painters born at this time were Pieter Bruegel and Hieronymus Bos that really stand out. Hieronymus Bos painted in a style that for his time was hardly known, creating fantastical works of art that...
And they're saying this is the 15th century, 16th century. That definitely looks like some very modern type of, and that is not something I would expect to see from the 15th century. Wow. In fact, I really like that. Like, that's really cool.
That displayed diabolical creatures, bizarre structures, and strange occurrences. His painting, The Garden of Earthly Delights, is one of the most famous paintings in the world, and depicts alternatively scenes of both hell and heaven. Some even have speculated that his art style ultimately inspired modern dark fantasy art. Pieter van Bruegel also worked with such elements, such as in his famous painting, The Triumph of Death, but also portrayed everyday peasant life with equal rigor. The Flemish Renaissance was a unique phenomenon that deserves more attention and interest.
That's really neat.
All that is certain in life is death and taxes, and in Belgium, that might be truer than in other places. Belgium actually has one of the highest tax rates in Europe.
Ew. That sucks.
With high earners forking over 57.8% of their income to the government. One of the reasons for this is the
57? Holy crap. Is that what he said?
Working over 57.8% of their income to the government.
Wow.
One of the reasons for this is the heavily socialized system of Medicare and other public services that depend on high tax revenue to function at their maximum. So if Belgium's taxes ever were lower, the country's infrastructure could crumble. Many countries have cities that are distinct from what you will typically find, but in Belgium, this is truer than elsewhere. Two locations in particular really shine here.
Sorry, I was thinking about that tax thing, man. And then that is a crazy looking cathedral right there. That is crazy looking. I mean, and then there's this one too with all the little mini towers. I guess I didn't notice that one at first, but yeah, so I ended up missing what he was saying at first. So
infrastructure could crumble. Many countries have cities that are distinct from what you will typically find, but in Belgium, this is truer than elsewhere. Two locations
distinct from what you would typically find. So many places have cities. So each city would have something unique to that city is what I'm assuming they're getting at with that. And that looks really cool.
in particular really shine here, and those are Antwerp and Bruges. Antwerp has been one of the most important cities in Europe in terms of economics and trade for centuries, and its port remains the second most active one in Europe, even today, after Rotterdam. Historically, it has been well known for its diamond cutting and polishing business, and even today, approximately 84% of the world's rough diamonds pass through the so-called Diamond District. Bruges exists on the opposite end of the spectrum and is well known for its unique medieval architecture that remains intact even today. Just browsing the city's streets and walking around makes you think you currently find yourself in a medieval fantasy world of unparalleled beauty. It makes you...
That looks really cool. I love architecture, man. So Bruges, huh? That's a place to go when if I ever finally get a chance to go to Europe here in the next few years. That may be on the list of places to go.
You think you currently find yourself in a medieval fantasy world of unparalleled beauty. Every year, untold numbers of tourists visit Bruges just to glimpse the medieval glory of the past that has been lost in so many other cities.
That's really cool.
As mentioned prior, Belgium is a divided land, and one of the long-standing issues it faces is that of Flemish nationalism. Flemish itself is essentially a variety of Dutch, but is often regarded as a different language for political reasons. Many Flemish people feel no connection to the other groups within Belgium, and some have petitioned for a separate country of their own. One of the most important political parties in this regard is the Vlaams Belang, or Flemish Interest Party, which is headed by Tom van Grieken, and is considered to be part of the right-wing populist movement that is growing in Europe. Its stated goal is the creation of a separate Flemish nation. But not all Belgians are behind the idea, even Flemish speakers, because Belgians tend to be majority liberal.
Well, and like, how would that work? You know, that'd be a really small country, you know, so like the economy and stuff, I don't know.
Still, Vlaams Belang claims that it is the artificial nature of Belgium that causes tensions and prevents true flourishing. Belgium was fairly limited in colonial ambitions and in the realization of these ambitions, having only colonized parts of Central Africa, but considering what the country managed to do, it struck gold, quite literally. The Democratic Republic of Congo was and remains one of the most mineral-rich countries in the world, and from 1885 to 1962, it was a possession of the Belgian monarchy.
Okay, so I wonder what happened. Why did they give it? Did they just give it back? Huh.
The resource richness of the area allowed Belgium to prosper at a level few other European countries could at the time. Unlike many other European countries, however, such as Britain or France, Belgian colonies such as Congo were rarely, if ever, referred to as empire. Rather, they were seen merely as colonies and regions worthy of economic exploitation.
That's crazy. I never knew that they had the Congo. That's nuts.
Many people have heard of Belgian chocolate.
I just got a bunch of Belgian chocolate, actually. Yes.
But few people know the extent of Belgian chocolate production. Belgium produces 220,000 tons of chocolate each and every year, and is known for some of the most delicious and unique varieties of chocolate in the world. One of the most famous kinds of Belgian chocolate is the praline, which is a soft-center chocolate bonbon of sorts. Chocolate making in Belgium goes back more than 400 years, but much of...
I have some pralines. They're not close by. It's not the round one. It's like a flat praline chocolate bar. Really good. In fact, I'm gonna have to eat some here soon. I got sent that from somebody from the Belgium area. or Netherlands, possibly. I think Belgium.
Of Belgium's chocolate fame has to do with Congo being a former Belgian colony, and with it the ability to import vast amounts of cocoa to make the chocolate that everyone craves. The colonial times are over, but the chocolate reputation remains. As a testament to its chocolatey nature, the Brussels International Airport is the world's biggest chocolate selling point. It might seem
Wow. The biggest chocolate selling point. So more chocolate is bought there than anywhere on the planet. That is nuts.
like a distant memory, but at one time, the land that would become Belgium was part of the Spanish Habsburg Empire. Modern Belgium was Spanish territory from 1581 to 1714.
Yeah, and I believe the Netherlands as well, because it was all together at one point, I think, and or at least the north half, the part that speaks Dutch, possibly, I'm not sure, but yeah, it was all under Spanish rule, I believe. I mean, obviously the Belgium, but I think, like, you know, the Netherlands also with it.
And this occupation had left a lasting mark in Belgian society at the time. Spain also controlled much of the Netherlands during this time, and it was an era of tremendous tribulation and bloodshed. Much of the infamous 30 Years' War took place within the Spanish-occupied territories. This might seem like a remarkable circumstance, but we have to remember that during the early modern era, European powers were constantly at each other's throats, and thus Spanish occupation should not surprise us. With more than 800 varieties of beer, Belgium consumes between 100 and 150 liters of beer per person each year. One thing that immediately strikes you about Belgian beer is its immense variety, and in particular, the variety of flavor.
Yeah, I keep getting in the comment section on stuff all the time about how, obviously the chocolate, but about Belgian beer. I have yet to try it. That would be awesome. I don't even know if you can send Belgian beer to the United States, but if anybody wants to send me a beer, I do have a P.O. box down below. That would be awesome.
Some are dry, some are bitter, and some resemble Scotch ale more than they do beer.
I do not like dry stuff, guys. If you do send me stuff, I don't like dry, just so you know.
Many of these types are brewed by the famous Trappist breweries, which are 11 monasteries called the Trappist order that have an ancient heritage of beer brewing and continue to do so today.
The Trappist family, so like they run the beer monarchy over in Belgium.
In case you didn't know, Belgium is
or beer monopoly. Sorry, I don't know how that. You know what I mean?
It's a waffle land, and there are more than 12 regional varieties, including but not limited to the Liège waffle, Brussels waffle, Flemish waffle,
Brussels waffle. That looked like a stroopwafel.
But not limited to the Liège waffle,
Brussels waffle. Is that what a stroopwafel is? Actually, no, that is a stroopwafel. I can legit see, like, there's creamy stuff on the inside of there. Yeah.
Brussels waffle, Flemish waffle, Belgische waffle, stroopwafel, and Brussels waffle, Flemish waffle, Belgische waffle,
That's not a stroopwafel. What? I just had two different kinds sent to me from the Netherlands. Maybe in the Netherlands, what they call Belgian waffles here, Netherlands are stroopwafels, and then I don't know.
Stroopwafel, and several others. The concept of the modern waffle is thought to have originated in Belgium, and waffles remain an important part of the culture, with such things as waffle vans in cities such as Brussels, and many street vendors selling the local variety. Whatever your waffle pleasure might be,
looks good.
You will be sure to find it in Belgium, land of the waffle. For more top lists, just
land of the waffle, guys. Wow. Brussels and Bruges, is that what the other one was that it said? Yeah, so if I ever get a chance to go to Europe, I got to go check out Bruges. For the architecture, I got to go check out one of these waffle vans. I don't know how they said that the waffles is that's like the number one thing that you didn't know about Belgium. That was the number one list. I'm pretty sure that's like the number one thing everybody knows about Belgium is Belgian waffles. They're very famous for that. So, but anyways, that was 10 things you didn't know about Belgium, guys. As always, a link to the original video will be in the description section down below. And on the way down there, hit like, hit subscribe, and you guys have a super fun, awesome day. I will catch you in the next one. All right, later.